Dennis Rader, known as the BTK Killer, bind, torture, kill, led a double life that confounded and terrified the community of Wichita, Kansas for decades. Born on March 9, 1945, Rader grew up in a seemingly normal household and went on to serve in the United States Air Force. He married his wife, Paula Dietz, in 1971, and the couple had 2 children. Rader was an active member of his church, serving as president of the church council, and worked as a compliance officer for the city, often enforcing neighborhood regulations. To those who knew him, he appeared to be a devoted family man and a model citizen. However, beneath this facade, Rader harbored dark desires that would lead to a series of heinous crimes. His killing spree began on January 15, 1974, with the Otero family. Rader broke into their home and murdered Joseph and Julie Otero and 2 of their children, Josephine and Joseph Jr., by strangulation and suffocation. He later admitted that he took pleasure in watching the life drain from his victims and that he derived sexual satisfaction from the killings. Over the next 2 decades, Rader would kill 10 people, leaving a trail of fear and confusion. His methodical approach included extensive stalking, planning, and meticulous attention to detail. Rader would bind his victims, often using elaborate knots, torture them physically and psychologically, and then kill them, usually by strangulation. After the murders, he would leave the crime scenes with trophies, such as personal items belonging to the victims, which he would later use to relive the crimes. Rader's next known victim was Catherine Bright, whom he murdered on April 4, 1974. He broke into her home, bound and stabbed her, and left her to die. In 1977, Rader struck again, killing Shirley Vian and Nancy Fox in separate incidents. He continued to terrorize Wichita, killing Maureen Hedge in 1985, Vicki Wegerle in 1986, and Dolores Davis in 1991. Each murder was carried out with the same level of precision and sadistic pleasure. Despite his gruesome acts, Rader managed to evade capture for years, partly due to his ability to blend into the community. He sent taunting letters to the media and police, relishing the attention and control he exerted over the investigation. These communications included detailed descriptions of his crimes, along with puzzles and clues that only he could solve. Rader's arrogance and desire for recognition were evident in his writings, where he often referred to himself as BTK and claimed responsibility for the murders. Rader's double life was a chilling testament to his cunning and deceit. While he was committing these horrific acts, he maintained his role as a husband, father, and church leader. His family and friends had no inkling of the monster that lurked within him. This ability to compartmentalize his life allowed him to continue his killing spree undetected for so long. In 2004, after years of silence, Rader resumed his communication with the media and police, sending letters, photographs, and even a copy of Vicki Wegerle's driver's license. This renewed contact would ultimately lead to his downfall. In one of his letters, Rader asked the police if they could trace a floppy disk. The police, seizing the opportunity, assured him it was safe. When Rader sent the disk, forensic analysis traced it back to the computer at Christ Lutheran Church, where he was a member. This evidence, combined with DNA samples from his daughter's medical records, led to his arrest on February 25, 2005. Rader confessed to the murders, providing detailed accounts of his crimes in court. He described his actions with chilling detachment, revealing the extent of his sadism and the pleasure he derived from his victims' suffering. His trial brought to light the full horror of his double life, shocking those who had known him as a pillar of the community. Dennis Rader was sentenced to 10 consecutive life terms in prison without the possibility of parole. His capture brought relief to a community haunted by his actions, But the memory of his terror remains a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind a mask of normalcy. Rader's case highlighted the disturbing duality of a seemingly ordinary individual harboring a monstrous secret, and the devastating impact of his crimes will never be forgotten.